with the candidates. He said, can I come see the family the day before he came with his wife? Donald Trump didn't do none of that. Now, when we came with the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, Bishop Daughtry, every Republican voted against it. And Senator Tim Scott, who was part of the three that was supposed to put the bill together, it was Senator Kamala Harris, Senator Tim Scott, and Senator Cory Booker. Tim Scott refused to put the bill forward if they kept in ending qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is where police could be sued personally for what they did. So when you got this guy that was on my show talking about why didn't they support the Tim Scott bill, he never had a bill. But my question is, why didn't Donald Trump as president stand up and say, I support this bill, I'll support this with Tim Scott? Never opened his mouth. Had the Secret Service clear protesters from front of a church across the street from the White House. He walked over there, held up a Bible, and denounced the protesters, never stood up for George Floyd. So the question is, as you watch the debate, who stands up for you? Well, man, you just like Biden. I marched on Biden and I've been with Biden when Biden was with us. Trump ain't never been with us. Tell you every week when I look at Kerry White sitting out here, one of the Central Park Five, now one of the exonerated Central Park Five, he called on that young man's death. I don't know a black businessman that ever got a contract with the Trump organization. Why you got all these clowns running around with T-shirts, N-word for Trump? Why can't he show you some black businessmen in the city that were contractors and plumbers that worked in the Trump buildings? Because there are none. How do you have buildings all over New York for 40 years and no blacks had contracts? No blacks could rent in your buildings where the Justice Department came in. You're not arguing Biden or Trump. You're arguing about your own self-accountability and self-respect. So I want us to be on guard with this whole thing. I told y'all last week for Juneteenth that the only reason they remain in slavery is because no one told them. For 2.5 years they were free. And what I try to do every Saturday and everywhere I go is try to tell y'all we are free now. We do not have to do what they tell us to do. We do not have to take orders. I tell folk all the time when we meet with these corporations about what they're doing in terms of asset management contracts, pensions, when we meet with these politicians about police reform bills and other legislation, and they start rearing back, I tell, wait a minute, take the bass out your voice. I ain't your boy, I ain't no slave no more. We're gonna talk as equals, or we ain't gonna talk at all. That's why for 24 weeks, we marched on Bill Ackman. And this week, Mark Morial and the Urban League came and marched with Ron McHenry. We had a big number, as big a number as we had other than the convention day.